Hi, my name is Greg Dietz, and I'm one of the school counselors at Lancaster Catholic High School. We wanted to share this presentation with you. This is the presentation that we gave during the Freshman Coffee with Counselors event early this fall. So we just wanted to make sure that all of our ninth grade families had access to this information. So just a little overview of who we are. 3 counselors, Mrs. Taormina, Mrs. Colbert, and myself, Mr. Dietz. In addition, in the office, we have our Director of Counseling, Mrs. Jill Grosh, and our Administrative Assistant, Mrs. Shomo. So if you call into the counseling office, you'll most likely speak to Mrs. Shomo first before being forwarded to one of your counselors. All the counselors, including Mrs. Grosh, do have freshmen on their caseload. So what we do, you can break down our jobs into 3 main roles: academic support, personal social support, and career support. So under the academic support, there's a little bit of what we do, so helping students with test-taking skills, getting them organized, studying, and even if it's something like they need to have a conversation with the teacher, but they're not quite sure how to do that. They're really struggling with time management. Any of those academic issues, I like to tell my students that while the teachers are there to help in the classroom with each individual class, we're here to help with big picture academic issues. So we try our best to keep an eye on grades, see how students are doing overall, and then provide support as necessary. Additionally, we do personal and social counseling, so the transition to freshman year can be a bit intimidating for students at times. So we do a lot of talking about coping with stress, helping students deal with anxiety, when it comes to building relationships with their peers. Maybe it's something that's going on a sports team or in the classroom. So we're here to support students with any of those personal social issues that would come up. And then we also do college and career counseling. So we start off in 9th grade year talking about goal setting, looking at learning styles, do a little bit of career exploration, and we continue that throughout the high school career. I'll get into that a little bit later, but up through senior year when we help students to navigate the process of figuring out what they want to do after they graduate. So in terms of setting up a meeting, all of the counselors have been meeting with their freshmen since the first quarter ended. So if your student hasn't seen their counselor yet, they'll be seeing them very, very soon as we wrap up those meetings. The counseling office is actually in the back of the main office. We're attached to the main office. And if a student wants to meet with us, they can simply send us an email using our email addresses that are on your screen. Or they can just stop into the counseling office to see when we might have some availability. We always meet with students during a free period, such as a study hall, Crusader period, or a lunch. We don't like to pull from academic classes unless it's an emergency. And in order to communicate this to students, we have green passes that they get in homeroom on the day of a meeting. So that's how a student can set up a meeting. And of course, you're welcome to set up a meeting with us as well, or reach out to us via email. As I said, all the email addresses are right there on your screen. And if you're not sure who your student's counselor is, you can call into the counseling office at 717-509-0305, and Mrs. Shomo will be able to point you in the right direction. So a little bit about confidentiality. It's important for our students and for you to know that our counseling sessions and meetings with students are kept confidential unless a couple of things happen. If a student says, hey, you know what, share this information with my parents or the staff of the school, then we go ahead and do that. If a student indicates that they're going to hurt themselves or hurt someone else, that's a reason why we would break confidentiality. Or if they tell us that someone else is going to hurt another person, we will break confidentiality for that as well. So we just like to be upfront with families and students about what the limits of confidentiality are for any counseling meeting that we might have here at school. So speaking about school counseling timeline, we will meet with students at least once every year. Generally, we see students more than that, but in terms of formal individual meetings, we have one of those scheduled each year. So in 9th grade, we meet after the first quarter, talk a little bit about how that transition to Lancaster Catholic has gone. We do some goal setting and really just get to know the students a little bit better. Most times it's our first opportunity to meet with those students. So hearing what they're interested in, what they like, what's going well, what could be going a little bit better. That's the main focus of the conversation that we have in 9th grade. And actually, I think we're going to be switching up when we meet with our 10th and 11th grade students. In the past, we used to meet with 10th graders after the second quarter, and we would dive into Navient, which is our college and career planning software, to start looking at career exploration and different kinds of assessments to have students begin the thought process of what you're going to do after high school. But since we're going to be introducing a little bit of that more in 9th grade, we've actually decided we're going to switch those 10th and 11th grade meetings. So we're going to meet with the 11th grade students after the second quarter to start doing some senior year planning. So that could be a general meeting just to start talking about when do you take tests, and getting the wheels turning on having students think about the upcoming senior year. So we'll do that after the second quarter. We'll meet with 10th graders at the end of the third quarter to dive a little bit more into the career path. So a little bit of a switch there between 10th and 11th grade. That's a change that we're making this year that was just decided on. And then 12th grade, we meet with our students at the beginning of the school year. And I know I said that we generally have one formal meeting with our students every year, but especially in senior year, we have lots and lots of check-ins with our students as they're looking at career planning, searching for colleges, getting college applications done. Maybe they're exploring a career in the military. So our meetings with seniors, we have a lot of those. And I would even say towards the end of junior year, we start to meet with students more frequently just because they have more needs. So these are just some of the questions that we would ask some of our 9th grade students when we meet with them. How has the transition gone, both academically and socially? What kind of goals do they have? Ranking where their study habits are. How confident are they that they're doing what they need to in order to succeed in the classroom? What are some clubs and activities that they have joined? What would you like to do in the future? So these are kind of the big talking points that we have with our 9th grade students. So if your student comes home and they say, I didn't do anything today, ask them if they've had their meeting with their counselor yet, and then you could engage them in conversation based around these talking points, because these are the things that we have been asking your students as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the counseling office. Again, our phone number in the counseling office is 717-509-0305, or you can reach out to your student's counselor, and I'm just going to jump right back to that screen where all the email addresses were. Not too far. And there are all the email addresses if you wanted to reach out to one of us individually. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. It has been so wonderful beginning to meet with the class of 2022 and getting to know our freshmen. We hold these meetings right after we've had a lot of senior meetings. So it's really fun to go from one group of students who they're prepping to find out what they want to do after they leave, and then go right to these 9th graders who still have 4 exciting years ahead of them. So if there's anything that we can do to help support you or your student, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.